It's a lifelong time.
Hello, hello, hello. This is a very special day at the Brandon Saloon in WhO with Jennifer and Aileen. Aileen. So, like, do you know any other Aileen's?
No, actually, I'm the only Aileen that I know. I know Aileen's, but nobody's Aileen.
And were you, when you were a little girl, did people always mess up your name like they still do as a grown-up lady?
Absolutely, they always did, especially my teachers. My assistant principal says, Aileen Renner. I cringed because he just told the whole school my wrong name.
Oh, so it's interesting you grew up like that. So that's like a usual thorn in your side, but then you correct them and they still forget because already I know I'm going to say it wrong. So who's your friend over here?
Aileen.
Aileen. Al. So there's an extra letter in there.
Yeah, my coworker said her name is Al and she leans, so call her Aileen.
Nice. And you guys brought a very important group of people to celebrate the holidays with us today. You want to give a little synopsis of who is going to be celebrating our holiday with us?
Sure, we have a bunch of students that were alumni from PS 77 and PS 721. We have Damian Johnson from PS 77 and Jason DiClementi from PS 77.
And David Rodriguez from PS 77.
I didn't have him when I was there. And Chanel Santana from
She's
PS 77.
Santana Claus, I think.
Santana Claus today, yeah. She's got the hat on.
The lady in red.
And we have Melvin Matos from 721K.
Wow, and they're amazingly talented kids that you've worked with and just blossomed working with you. It's just such a beautiful thing. You want to just say what you started with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually a phys ed teacher, and I had very little equipment. And around the holidays, I started bringing in my guitar and singing. I noticed the kids were singing back. And so it started, and luckily they allowed me to do music as a gym teacher, and I've always done music. We were the half notes. We played for Mayor Giuliani, and in City Hall. We went to Gracie Mansion twice. We won the Mayor's Award twice.
That's fantastic.
As a gym teacher, go figure.
Now these kids are not your average gym class.
No.
So this is what makes it a little bit more spectacular because they've actually like been given a gift of music to show how music is like the biggest healing force in the world.
Absolutely.
I mean, we had students that couldn't talk.
Right.
And we had a student that got up and sang Feliz Navidad, and literally the whole audience went.
Right.
And it was amazing.
The more I learn about music, though, the more I learn how there are parts of the brain that store music memory that you cannot lose, where other parts of the brain you can lose functions of all sorts of things, even probably talking, but where music is stored, it stays.
Yeah. I would say it's a basic primitive function, because I was talking to somebody about this last night, and when you think about, well, basically what she was saying is that even little babies can understand tone of voice, and they respond to it. So it's a real primitive reflex. That's why, people can learn to sing before they learn to speak.
One of my daughters, she sang before she talked. And I just have to say thank you guys so much for coming on the show and bringing such a gift to so many. And we hope it encourages more people to bring the gift of music to all the world, because music is the solution, not closing borders. All right.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to go on that one. But it is December 11th, and it's National Noodle Ring Day. So we have this giant noodle ring here to share with our guests. We will open it, and people can take some noodles with them when they share a little story of their life. And what else happened on this day? On this day, December 11th, a 219-year-old time capsule was excavated from the cornerstone of the Massachusetts State House in Boston. The capsule, first found in 1855 and was reburied, is likely the oldest one in the United States. It was found on this day. Yep, 1 year ago today. photo sharing application we all know, Instagram, last year on this day took over short message application Twitter with over 300 million monthly users to Twitter's 284 monthly users. This is what I have to say to Twitter. Oh, poor Twitter, right? Instagram took over. So, also on this day, Pope Francis, remember him? The new Pope? He was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. So on this date, and this year's was just named the other day, but that will be on another year of who's the Person of the Year. I don't know if we should say any bad things today, but it is the day that, if you remember, the son of Bernard Madoff, his son took himself on this day. Yeah, and that was already 5 years ago. Can you believe that? Don't you remember when that was on the news, Bernie Madoff's son, what he did? I know, I don't know what to talk about today, but that's usually what we talk about. On this day, this is pretty crazy. On this day, December 11th, 1992, a nor'easter hit New York City, doing $1 billion worth of damage. That's why Mother Nature's being so nice to us on this day, because we're having like winter in Australia, I keep saying right now. It's so nice. I love it. I'm not worried about it. WNEW AM radio. Anybody remember that?
Sure.
It ended transmission on this day after being alive for 58 years on air. GE acquired the RCA Corporation and NBC on this day. I didn't realize GE, I mean, I know GE is big, but it's bigger than you even know, because it owns everything. It owns NBC and RCA. My daughter was like, what's RCA? I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I know, she wasn't.
Well, I'm glad GE's doing well. I have some stocks.
Oh, good for you.
Hey, I'm your friend.
Then we'll let you sponsor our show. There we go. Aileen. I'll even remember how to say your name.
See?
Yeah.
She's got it.
I'll get it. Muhammad Ali's 61st and last fight ever, losing to Trevor Berbick, was on this day. Oh, we love you, Muhammad Ali. Donald Trump might not, but we do. I know. I'm sorry. Great Britain grants independence to Zimbabwe on this day. Rhodesia turned into Zimbabwe. I lived in London when that happened, and anytime I hear Zimbabwe and Rhodesia, it's so in my brain, because that was like the news every day for months and months and months. That transition, it happened this day. I didn't remember that, but I always think Zimbabwe, Rhodesia. Today, this is pretty crazy. On December 11th, 6 masked men bound 10 employees at Lufthansa cargo area at New York Kennedy Airport and made off, and it wasn't Madoff, it made off with $5.8 million in cash and jewelry, and they got away. I know, Lufthansa, yes, safe airline. I know, well, it was the cargo. Oh no, I'm not saying this one. Beatles, Apple Music signed its first group. You know what it was called? Grapefruit. Yeah, we all know what happened to them, right? Not too much, right? Apple only really cared about the Beatles. I know other people signed to Apple, and really the Beatles was the only winner, I think. Elvis Presley, where is he? I know, I thought this was so appropriate. Elvis Presley's Blue Hawaii album went to #1 and stayed #1 for 20 weeks on this day. Hank Williams, who remembers Hank Williams? He began to record on Sterling label on this day. UNICEF started on this day, December 11th in 1946, when it was established. Josephine Baker, I have her birthday, so she's always in my world. Josephine Baker goes to Amsterdam on this day. And it was the first day that colored moving pictures were demonstrated at Madison Square Garden in 1909. This was the first time ever. The first yacht race, oh my God, could you imagine? Across the Atlantic Ocean was on this day in 1866. They were racing across the Atlantic Ocean. The first use of nitrous oxide ever in a dental office? It was on this day. Yep, it was in Connecticut. Yep, exactly. They've come a long way, man. Wow. Francis King Louis the 16th went on trial on this day and was accused of treason. See, you can put a king on trial and they can lose. I know, that's pretty interesting. That's like Tricky Dicky.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you can lose because he did. The 103 Mayflower pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock on this day in 1620. So this is the day that the Mayflower went to Plymouth Rock. I've been on Plymouth Rock. I've actually sat on it. Have you ever visited that?
I just did this last summer.
Oh, really?
And you can't sit on it anymore. They have it in an enclosure because people were chipping pieces of the rock
to
off
take it with them.
and take it home, and the rock was dwindling down.
I was there a long time ago. Yes.
So it's smaller now.
It was pretty small. I was pretty surprised at how small Plymouth Rock was.
Yeah.
Birthdays today. It's Ryder Strong's birthday. Anybody remember Play Meets World?
I love him.
Yeah, it's his birthday today. Sean, right?
Yeah.
The troublemaker, Sean. It's his birthday.
The cute
today.
one.
Yeah, he was the cute one. And Most Def, his birthday is today. His real name is Dante Terrell Smith, the Most Def. Nikki Sixx's birthday is today. We all know from Motley Crue. Or you don't know. Jermaine Jackson, yes, one of the brothers. He was in the news this past week, wasn't he? His wife beat him up. Yeah. I know, yeah, exactly. I know. Domestic violence, the other way around, yeah. Jermaine, happy birthday. Exactly. Susan Seidelman's birthday is today. She's the director from Desperately Seeking Susan and a professor at NYU. I know that because someone I know was in her class. It's Ken Wall. You remember him? I think he was on 30-something. Christina Onassis' birthday is today. Oh, Christina Onassis. Terry Garr's birthday. Remember her? Of course. But Robert Pickett, he co-wrote The Monster Mash. His birthday is today. Brenda Lee's birthday is today. I'm sorry. Linda DeGeorge, I remember her. I don't know if anyone else does. Casey from Mission Impossible, the girl. I know, I remember her. Donna Mills from Knots Landing. I loved Knots Landing. Did you ever watch it?
I remember.
You remember? Yeah, she was like too much. Abby, she was Abby. She was like always gorgeous no matter what. John Kerry's birthday is today. David Gates from Bread, Baby I'ma Want You. Big Mama Thornton's birthday is today. So many birthdays. Carlo Ponti's birthday is today. His claim to fame was he married Sophia Loren. And Fiorella LaGuardia's birthday is today. We would never have LaGuardia Airport if it wasn't for him. And angels. There's only 2 angels because they're so huge that we are so glad. Bettie PaGe is an angel with us today. She passed away on this day. And Sam Cooke. He was shot to death at 29 years old. Gosh, he is a living legend. Sam Cooke, he passed away on this day. So he is with us today. Yeah, he can talk. All right, you guys ready to bring on your friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're ready.
All right. Do you have a website or anything where people can find you if
Yes, I'm on Aileen's Music Tree.
Okay.
On
And they can
Facebook.
find me on Facebook.
All right.
And my website is Dancing Rose Records. And we posted a whole bunch of last segment. Everybody's show is on there. And it's just some resources also talking about music and occupational therapy. So, families can check that out.
Perfect. So have a fun time. We're ready to party, and we'll see you in a second. We'll be right back. All right.
Full of surprises. It's a place to get your 15 minutes of fame.